Hello, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. This is Reverend Dr. Wayne M. Weathers. I haven't been posting in a while, and so I wanted to get back on track with being informative and informational, things of that nature. As we get ready to launch a new podcast, with Conversation Unplugged, and Pastor Robert Johnson and we're working on another podcast. So come February, March, there will be Conversation Unplugged and a new podcast. But this is not what I wanted to post today. I just wanted to be slightly transparent. And I want to talk to my brothers and sisters about the importance of listening to your body. So let me just set the landscape, and then let me tell you what has happened. And this is a personal revelation, and I take my personal health seriously. So I've had this meeting planned for Thursday. It was a good business meeting that was supposed to talk about Conversation Unplugged, going to another level, as well as my consulting business, doing political consulting, and also getting our church, Vision of Hope Baptist Church, more ministry opportunities and everything like that with a good friend name I'm not going to mention, don't have his permission to say openly. And I was looking forward to this meeting, and we had a very important interview set up with Reverend Dr. Patrick Thompson out of New Orleans, who was going to give us insight about what was going on in New Orleans after the attempted terrorist attack that had taken place there. This was supposed to happen on Thursday. But on watch night, New Year's Eve, I started to notice something that was going on with my body. I could not relax. I had a headache. At that time, I thought it was a caffeine headache. And because, I'm a heavy coffee drinker. I love especially imported coffee, whether it's Brazil, Ethiopian, etc. That's a whole other conversation. And then a couple of times I slipped from not taking my blood pressure medication. So let me just be very candid with you as well. I don't eat out a lot. I'm not a salt person, so I'm not going to put it with this, it was a result of salt intake and things like that. So the bottom line is, when I checked my blood pressure, it was high, and it was extremely alarming. I was in limbo New Year's Eve, rather not to go to the emergency room. Got a shot of my blood pressure medication, came down, but blood pressure was still high. Fast forward, it's now New Year's Day, and the numbers aren't coming down. And so the headache is intensifying. And again, I'm thinking, I didn't have any coffee, so that's what the headaches was about. And then I took the blood pressure medication, and not blood pressure medication, I'm sorry, I took my blood pressure. And the numbers were alarming. They were bottom and top number were triple figures. One was, before I got to triple figures, top number was over 170. The bottom number was like 190, close to 100. I'm not 190, 99, close to 100. So I'm in denial at this point, and I'm like, something's the matter with my blood pressure machine. So let me go to Walgreens and use their blood pressure machine. Went to Walgreens, they don't have their blood pressure machine anymore, where open to the public. Let me go to ShopRite. I went to ShopRite. I'm in denial. ShopRite doesn't have their blood pressure machine open to the public. And then God spoke to me, because I says, man, this headache, I didn't have any coffee yesterday. I didn't have any coffee today. So this is a caffeine headache. The Lord shared with me, not all headaches is a caffeine headache. Sometimes those headaches are as a result of your high blood pressure. So now I go home, I eat, and then I take my blood pressure medicine. I take my blood pressure. And now comes the alarming numbers. 192 over 103. For those who don't know, the higher up, the closer you are to stroke range or heart attack. Now I'm in limbo. I got this good interview coming tomorrow. This is Thursday. It's going to be hot. I got this business meeting that was pushed back to Thursday. I really don't want to miss this business meeting. What am I going to do? Then I start thinking about my wife and my children, my grandchildren. Just spent a blessed time with my children. Then start thinking about being a pastor of the church. So what do? I did the smart thing. I went to the emergency room, or let me restate that. My wife and I, we went to the emergency room. And I felt there's some things I didn't tell my wife. Uh, when the blood pressure increased, I felt some pressure, small pressure on my chest, and I felt some stiffening in the arm. And so I get to the emergency room. It was packed, and they take me back. It wasn't quick, but they take me back. And now there's a decision to make. Numbers started to come down a little bit, but it's fluctuating. It's up, it's down. What I mean by that, extremely high to high. It says we can keep you for overnight observations. Let me tell you what my initial intent was. My initial intent was to say no. I don't want to stay in no hospital, right? I don't want to stay in no hospital. I got a business meeting on Thursday. I got a radio interview on Thursday. You got me? I got all of this stuff that I had planned that I want to carry out. But what good is carrying it out if you're not here to carry it out? So I made the most wisest decision to make. I let them keep me overnight. And it was the best decision. So now my blood pressure is fluctuating from high to normal to high. They're just monitoring me the rest of the night. My wife couldn't stay with me. And the result of my high blood pressure, I know what it is. It's not salt. It's not pork. It's not this. It's not that. Let me just be very candid with you. It's stress. And the nature of the stress, I will not share, because there's some things that just don't need to be put on Facebook. And that's the bottom line. And I will guard my confidentiality and my borders or barriers or whatever were boundaries. I will keep my boundaries. And so I left out of there, the very next day, which was yesterday. When you go in the hospital, man, you barely get any sleep. And, they put me on I have one blood pressure medication, Restream, and now they put me on another blood pressure medication. And what you don't see is I have a monitor on my arm, although there's no problems with my heart, but they want to monitor the heart. And I have an outpatient device where I have a blood pressure machine, temporary blood pressure machine from the hospital, where they will monitor my blood pressure. And I have another appointment in service tomorrow, and then I meet with my primary care doctor on Monday. I give you this long narrative. I try to only do about maybe 3 or 4 minutes worth of videos, but I need to just share with you. Number one, people say high blood pressure is a silent killer. Yes, it is. So is stress. And if you don't manage stress, stress will take you out of here. That's the bottom line. I got to a point where I know what was stressing me out. I know what continues to stress me out. And it's not church related. I can say that. It's definitely not marriage related. And if it was marriage related, I wouldn't even put it on here. But I will say sincerely, it's not marriage related. But what it is, I'm just not going to talk about. But I will share this. The only person I was talking to about my stress related issues was my therapist. My wife knows some of the content, but I didn't want to trouble her. I really don't have a lot of friends. And I say that not out of sympathy, that's just by choice. And then those who I have, I just choose not to share it. I just took this mindset, I'm just going to life my way through. So that suppression of whatever was bothering me, I kept pushing it down. Don't want to bother this person, don't want to bother that person, don't want nobody knowing my business. All of that basically contributed to the elevation of the high blood pressure, not being able to relax. Then there's some things that I stopped doing. Meditation is one of my disciplines that I engage in that really takes the stress level down and really allows me to get through daily life challenges. And I got away from my meditation. And then for those who are pastors, you can identify this. Advent and Lenten season towards those particular holidays are the most busiest times of our pastoral life. And so with Lent, with Advent and things of that nature. The last 2 weeks has been brutal. So I haven't been able just to wind it down. I close out by saying this. I didn't post this long video, um, for sympathy. I didn't post it for sympathy. I was very hesitant to even post it. But I want to encourage my brothers and sisters, listen to your body. Listen. Don't deny. Don't run away from it. Listen. Because not listening could be a decision of life or death. What happened if I focused just on the business meeting that I was looking forward to participate in that Thursday morning? What happened if I was just focused on this radio interview that would take place at 1 p.m.? May not be me here today. I'm not saying I was close to death. I'm not over exaggerating, but those numbers are no joke. 192 over 103. The higher up that bottom number goes with your high blood pressure, the more chances of you gaining a stroke or heart attack. I know it because, high blood pressure runs in my family. So I do have a high blood pressure machine. And when I can sense it, I monitor my high blood pressure. Take care of yourself. There's nobody that can take care of you but you. Take care of yourself. But closing out, don't be hard-headed. Don't be so busy that your body is telling you that something is wrong and you choose not to listen. So now I'm relaxing. I never had so much sleep in a while. Yesterday, and my wife is very diligent. Sit down, get some rest. You're not going anywhere. And I'm normally hard-headed, and this is the time I decided to not be hard-headed. So I will. And one thing she said in closing, I'll say this and close out. Wayne, get back to exercising. Past 2 weeks, I got away from it because I was so busy. Get back to exercising. You've been going to the gym. You've been working out. That's a peace of mind for me. Martial arts, peace of mind for me. Get back to exercising. And that's what I plan to do. So in closing, listen to your body, because there may be a point where not listening could be a decision of death and not life. Take care and God bless. Listen to your body.